Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the market color session of the 20th of June, 2024. How are we all today? It's an amazing day. The weather is great. This rain wanted to, but we made it. Thank God. So if you can hear me, please leave some emojis for me in the chat box so I know we're together. Can you hear me? Can you see my screen as well? Please let me know so we can get started. I hope we're not all sleeping because the weather here is perfect for sleeping right now. Okay, all right, amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so now before we get started, right, I just want us to do something very, very quick. I'd like for us all to please share the link to people we know are traders or interested in trading and want to get started. Please share this link with them so that they can also participate in this. We always dish out every morning. So I'm going to wait. I'm right here, 30 seconds to 1 minute. Please share the link to people so that they can also be a part of this morning's session. The link is currently in the chat box to be dropped shortly. So yeah, thank you. Okay, so we're just going to get started. I believing you've already shared the link to people, the flyer, everything. All right, so as usual, I'm going to be looking at some commodity currency pairs being AUD/USD, NZD/USD, and USD CAD, right? So let's see what the market has in store for us today. This is price action. My indicators are not here, but it's all good. So yeah, what is AUD/USD doing on the weekly time frame? So looking at structure, right, you zoom in, you see that price broke through this high. So starting to see more bullish moves on the AUD/USD. If AUD/USD continues to trend higher, the next probable point where it's going to trade into, sorry, let me just switch back to my guy. All right, so the next area is going to be trading into is going to be right here. You see this other block right here, right? So this is most likely where AUD/USD is going to trade all the way into right here. So on the weekly time frame, looking at our most recent price action, we're seeing formation of bullish moves on AUD/USD. On the daily time frame, it's even clearer. See higher highs, higher lows, right? However, look at what price is doing now. So we're going to be watching AUD/USD to see if it's going to trade higher and break through these resistance levels that we have here, because there's a bunch of liquidity residing around this level. So is AUD/USD going to trade above here? We're going to watch and see. Even on the 4-hour time frame as well. On the 4-hour time frame now, it looks like a range though. So the structure is to the upside, but then we have all of these equal highs and equal lows currently forming. So short term though, what I see on AUD/USD is that it's going to reverse back a bit because this move has gone on for a while. You see all of these buy moves that AUD/USD did, right? So I'm thinking AUD/USD is going to reverse, trade back. There's a fair value gap here which could draw pricing to it. So this is going to be our first POI to continue the buy move, because right now we can't just jump in. Price has done a lot already. So what exactly are we jumping in to buy for, right? So we want to see good reversals before we continue buying AUD/USD. If AUD/USD gets here and it breaks below this point, the next probable area is going to be trading into, is most likely going to be into this diagonal liquidity. So we have a bunch of liquidity lying around here, right? Then there's a fair value gap down here, but this is way below. So let's mark that out and see. This is a 4-hour time frame, right? So there's one here. Price hasn't cleared it yet. And look at where our fair value gap is. Remember, we always mark out the 50% of the FVG when looking for liquidity points. So let's see if price gets to this level and starts to buy. But this is our first reversal area that we expect AUD/USD to trade into and then continue to buy. On the 2-hour time frame now, it's pretty much the same thing. Only thing you can do on this time frame is maybe draw out your Fibonacci swing to calculate the reversal. right? So you could decide to draw what we have here. So we're saying price is most likely going to trade here, right? Notice how the fair value gap coincides or confluences with our 50% Fibonacci level. So it's either going to trade here or trade to 61.8% Fib level and then continue to buy. So we have these levels that we're looking out, mark them out on your chart and wait for price to get there and see what it does. So as usual, those of us that have been joining our sessions, you know that we don't just jump into trades when price gets to our point of interest. We fine-tune them on lower time frames like the 5 minute and the 1 minute time, the 5 minute, 3 minutes, or 1 minute time frame, depending on what time frame you enter the market from. So even if price gets here, you start to see reactions. We're not going to jump in until price meets our entry criteria on the lower time frames. So this is just an overall overview of what we're seeing. Now, we have a TDA plus group where we drop our specific entry and exit points. If you'd like to be a part of that, it's pretty easy. You're just going to have to open an account with Okta as sponsors and then fund your account. We recommend $500 upward, right? But if you don't have up to that, then you can go a bit lower. However, $500 is the recommended equity to start with, right? So when you do that, we're going to add you up to our TDA Plus group so you can trade alongside my colleagues and I. Now that we've looked at AUD/USD, let's see what NZD/USD is doing. And it's going to be pretty similar. For your future, the moment you look at your weekly time frame, you see structure is to the downside, right? NZD/USD is from the structures to the downside. It hasn't taken out this level. So for us to actually know, we shouldn't be guessing what NZD is going to do because of AUD/USD. So we're looking at NZD/USD as a standalone now. And we see that structure is to the downside. This resistance level is pushing price down. On the daily time frame, what do we see? Structure is being printed to the upside. We see consecutive higher highs and lows and higher lows being printed, right? So this pullback down here, is it going to trade above here? Most likely. Why do I say that? There's a bunch of liquidity residing above here and our fair value gap right above it. Right above that level, right here. So I see a more bullish momentum for NZD/USD. Most likely going to trade all the way here, take all of this liquidity, and then either continue the trend or do whatever it wants to do. But our goal is to trade alongside what the market is doing. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, what do we see? You see that price found support is above this level, right? To be honest, it's giving me cause for concern in the sense that price is most likely going to trade below and take all of the stop losses residing around here. You see the support that we have right here on NZD/USD. Several times price got there, several times it's reacted off that level. So most likely NZD/USD is going to sell down, take out the liquidity residing down below here. We're going to see price trade in here, right? Yeah. So this is a bunch of liquidity that NZD/USD might come and take out. So it's most likely going to do this and then do this to go and trade into the higher time frame diagonal liquidity and fair value gap that we saw, basically liquidity points. The same thing on the 2-hour time frame, right? So yeah, we have our levels marked out as well. We have our level marked out. However, if you're looking at this 2-hour most recent price action now, the swing we have here looks like a sell swing. This is looking more like a sell swing, right? So is NZD/USD going to trade a bit upward into this premium levels before it goes down to take out this liquidity that we have here? We'll watch and see. Right, we're going to watch and see. For USD CAD, what do we have on USD CAD? On the weekly time frame, see this range, and it's been here for a while, since what, 2022. We just had these these equal highs and lows being formed. So we're watching to see if USD CAD is eventually going to break above all of these resistance points here. We'll be watching to see if it does that. On the daily time frame, structure is to the upside ish, right? Because it broke above this level. At first, we saw lower lows being printed. but then price traded above and broke above the structure. So is this a retest to continue buying? We're going to keep looking. But then you come on the 4-hour time frame and you see this, you see this the different price action movement happening here, right? So the thing with price is sometimes not all time frames will be in confluence, because at the end of the day, price is fractal. So what the lower time frames do eventually will catch up with the higher time frames. So if USD CAD is still forming structures to the downside on the 4-hour time frame, most likely it's going to keep trading lower till the daily and the weekly time frame catches up. Because you see on the 2-hour time frame as well, structure is to the downside. It's breaking through all of these levels to the downside, right? So for now, my daily bias on USD CAD is more to the downside, right? And any buy we see is going to be a simple buy to sell. It's going to be a buy to sell on USD CAD. And yeah, that is pretty much it for our commodity currency analysis. I'm trying to see USD CAD clearly. So we might be seeing some sort of reversal back to this FVG, which is exactly what we just said, the buy to sell. We could see this price tapping here and then drops and continues to trade lower following the 1-hour and the 2-hour time frame. So I see a comment here. Could you please check the XY? So shortly when my colleague comes on board, he's going to look at the XY. He's going to look at the XY, Mr. Potters. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have questions, let me know, please. Let's look at Forex Factory and see if we have any news releases coming out today. Today is Thursday. So you see, but most of them are on CHF, pound. Do we have anyone coming out on the dollar? So we have CPI coming out on GBP. Okay, no, this was yesterday. This was yesterday. So it's CHF, pound monetary policy, and then we have one on USD, unemployment claims, and this is also a high impact news. So it's by 1:30 p.m. We're going to be trading carefully to see what price eventually does. To see the economic theme currently in play, let's look at this. So on the weekly time frame, we don't exactly have a clear view. It's mixed. We see Aussie here, we see yen down there, we see NZD right next to yen. So it's not really clear as on the weekly time frame. Let's look at what the daily time frame is showing us. On the daily time frame, still not clear as well. They're kind of mixed. For those of us who don't know how things play out, ideally, we don't want to see a risk on play, safe haven play, risk off, just have that clear bias, right? So ideally, you see AUD, NZD, and CAD right next here to show you that it's a risk on play, and then maybe yen and the dollar right here to show you that. But we don't have all of that right now, so we're going to be watching for this to rearrange itself. Mr. Ike or Ike Malakai. So what we do, sir, is on different days we have different people who come on board to analyze different pairs, right? So it depends on what pair that person trades. Is it predominantly, that is the word? But yeah, it depends on that. So when you see Abby, that's me, Abigail. I usually look at AU, NZ, USD, and USD CAD. And then when you see my colleague Cynthia is GBP USD, ER USD, and the XY. Same thing as Lakon. Lakon looks at gold and stuff like that. So we have different pairs that we look at. However, if my boss is online and there's more time, it just might help you quickly look at EU, RUSD. All right, so do we have any questions so far before we hand over to my colleague to come take us through the pair he's looking at today? You're welcome, Mr. Ike. Any questions? Okay, so this is as just a quick. Mr. Franklin said, "Mama, thank you, Papa, Papa." Yeah, so as a quick reminder, we have our ATM cash flow training coming up in July, right? And it's going to be right there in the city of Abuja. Some of you attended the Traders Bootcamp event that we did you saw how insightful it was, right? It was very, very insightful. And that was a free event in a way. But so much value was given to even call it a free event. It was powered by Okta, of course. Now we're going to be having our ATM cash flow training right there in Abuja. A date has been fixed. I'm going to post the flyer on our social media platforms shortly, and we'll all get to see it. So please prepare for that. We look forward to seeing you once again in the city of Abuja. Does price always trade into the immediate FVG? So we can't say always, right? FVGs just serve as liquidity points that we expect price to trade into. So most times price might not even trade into the immediate fair value gap that you have there, but eventually you could see reactions from that point. Sometimes it could break above and just keep trending if it's a full trending market. Sometimes it goes there and then retests, checks liquidity there, and then continues to trade. So it's not something that I would say it has to, right? Sometimes it could break above and keep trading higher. But these are points that we look at to expect reversals from or reactions from. All right, Mr. Lawal, is that clear, sir? Mr. Lawal is our student. All right. Okay, so without taking too much time, we're going to go on a very, very short break, and my colleague, CJ, almost said Odogu. CJ is going to come in on board to look at some pairs for us. So stick around. Again, please share the link with people so that they can be a part of today's session. Thank you, cheers, and God bless.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the market color for today, and we are glad to have you all here. And okay, so we'll be analyzing quickly. We'll be starting off with the dollar index analysis, and afterwards, we're going to be looking at GBP USD and Euro USD. Something very interesting happened this morning, which I would like to highlight to you guys before we proceed. Now, we saw the interest rate for Switzerland released earlier this morning, like about 20 minutes ago, and it came out lesser than was forecasted. Now, the interest rate has been around 1.50% for the last couple of months. And then after a while, we saw chatter, we saw rumors, we saw news that they were going to reduce their interest rates. Well, no one believed it was going to happen until they finally did this month. All right, so they cut their interest rate by about 25 basis points, which reduced it to 1.25%. Now, amongst all other safe haven assets, the Japanese yen still remains the lowest in interest rates, followed by the Swiss franc, and then the US dollar, of course, is still at around 5.5%. So we've not seen any sign of interest rate cuts on the US side of things, but we're already seeing signs of that on the Swiss franc. So we're seeing that possibly the Swiss franc will be the less preferred safe haven asset or safe haven currency going forward. Now, what is the implication on this to the dollar and to other pairs that we're trading? Now, if you're looking at the CHF JPY chart currently, you'll be seeing that it is spiking to the downside. If you're seeing the USD CHF chart currently, it is trending to the upside. Now, the direct implication of this is that the dollar is now the most preferred safe haven currency going forward. And this is going to add some strength to the dollar. All this while, we've been looking out for things that are going to strengthen the dollar. So I strongly believe that this CHF play is going to return dollar to the safe haven status as the most preferred amongst all three. Now we're going to be seeing further injection of liquidity going forward into the dollar. That is what we expect to see per market outlook. So going into the remaining part of this week, I'm expecting a bullish dollar. And while expecting a bullish dollar, I'll be expecting to see shorts on Euro USD and GBP USD. And we're going to start analyzing them right away. Starting off with the dollar index analysis. All right, so this is the dollar index. Let me be sure that you can see my screen. Okay. Now, for the dollar index, starting off with the higher time frame, let's look at it from the daily time frame. We've been seeing that the dollar index started gaining momentum to the upside a couple of weeks ago, and I've always been in support of the bullishness of the dollar index because structurally, we've seen that the dollar index has maintained its bullish bias going into this year, and we saw some deep retracement that caused fears in the market, and people were actually thinking that the dollar index may change its outlook, but then looking at it from the overall perspective, I've always had that notion that the pullback was just a retracement to give some discount so that those who are interested in holding the dollar for the long term will be able to get entries into the trade. All right, now looking at what the dollar index is doing for today, we're seeing that strength is resuming for the dollar index for this week. Since Monday, we've been seeing sell-offs of the dollar index. Now it's resuming to the upside. You can see this huge order block on the daily time frame is what is the main suspect for this bullish resumption. Now let's look at it on the 4-hour time frame. So we saw this retracement right here on the 4-hour time frame, and if you're able to flip this, you'll see that it didn't get quite into discount enough for us to start buying of the dollar. But then we can't overrule the fundamental plays that are going on currently as regarding the dollar index. Now, from what we're seeing, the dollar index has more reasons to resume the buys from where it currently is. The reason is because we are seeing that interest rate play going on in safe currency side of things. So we're seeing Japanese keeping their interest rate at 0.1, Swiss franc, they're reducing interest rate in Switzerland by 25 basis points, leaving it at around 1.25. And then for the dollar, they are leaving their interest rate around 5.5%. So it's saying that if you invest in the dollar as an investor, if you invest in the dollar or any dollar related asset, bonds, stocks, and the likes, you will most likely be giving about 5.5% outside of tax. But if you're investing in Switzerland and in Japan, you'll be getting 1.25% and 0.1% respectively. So the dollar is most likely preferred. So this is one of the reasons why we may not see the dollar trade all the way to discount before it starts resuming its buy. Because we've seen the discounts trade all the way down here. We've seen the dollar give us some decent discounts in the past. So I don't think the dollar will have any reason to start falling further downwards into discounts going forward into today. For me, I expect a resumption of the dollar index to the upside. I know some of you are going to be thinking all these things that I'm saying is almost like jargons to you, or it's almost like I'm speaking on a high note to you. So what it implies is that I'm looking to buy the dollar today. I'm already in some dollar trades. All right, I'm already buying the dollar today. I would reveal some of those trades to you as we proceed. But that's what I'm looking out for based on what we've seen currently. Now, where are the levels that we're targeting for the dollar index? As usual, I would want to mark out old liquidity points. There is this double double top right here. I'm very interested in seeing the dollar take that out. Also another high right here. I'm interested in seeing the dollar take it out. And then as usual, we're also seeing something that looks like another double top here. Yes. So these are the levels I'm expecting to see the dollar index trade into. I expect to see liquidity grabs all the way up here, at least for the first instance of this week into next week. I want to see the dollar index take out this high. So it's a lot of things may even come out today that would also inject liquidity for the dollar into these levels that we've expected. All right, and one of that is the interest rates release for UK. We're expecting UK to release their interest rates, and that will be happening around 12 noon GMT plus 1. And we're expecting it to come out flat because the interest rate has been around 5.25%. So we're not
expecting
expecting
any
any
increase in interest
interest
rate.
rate.
So
So
we're
we're
suspecting
suspecting
that
that
it's
it's
going
going
to
to
remain.
remain. We're expecting that it's going to remain flat as we've seen in previous months. Let's go to Forex Factory quickly to look at that. Now, Forex Factory, we're seeing 5.25% and a 2 to 7 voting, just like we had last month. And I don't think any of the central bank governors has changed their mind, or the central bank directors have changed their mind on their various perspective on the interest rate for Great Britain rather. So we're expecting it to still come out flat as 5.25%. If this happens, we're expecting currencies like GBP USD to dip further. Now, talking about GBP USD, let's look at its neighbor Euro USD before we analyze GBP USD itself. Now, looking at Euro USD has always given us that clear sign since last week when we saw the interest rate release came out flat, and we've been seeing sells on Euro, we've been seeing shorts on the Euro. For looking at Euro JPY yesterday during our analysis, we saw how clear that Euro JPY was set for a short sell that has already started. Now, looking at Euro USD on the daily time frame, so that we get clearer perspective. Now, you're seeing that Euro USD has broken structure. We even highlighted that yesterday. After this break of structure on Euro USD, we are seeing that price return quickly back into the fair value gap and retouched the breaker block that injected the sell-off of Euro USD. Now we're expecting Euro USD to continue taking out all the other lows, just like it has started doing. So let me mark out some of the lows I expect Euro USD to take. That's taking that out. Expecting it to also take this one, this, and this. So all these lows are liquidity points for Euro USD. I'm expecting it to sell off all the way to the downside. Okay. So I'll be looking for further sells on Euro USD if I were you, because fundamentally the Euro is weak. Sentiment-wise, the Euro is not preferred in any way, and structure-wise, Euro is bearish. So I'll be looking for further sells on Euro USD going forward. So okay. All right, we're back. So I'm looking forward to seeing further sales on Euro USD as we proceed. All right, so let's quickly look at what we'll be expecting to happen intraday. Now, on intraday basis, I'm expecting a sell-off on Euro USD. Let's check it out on the 1 hour time frame. So this is the 1 hour time frame of Euro USD. The sell has already started. We've seen the break of structure that we've been looking out for. The second and the main break of structure that you may want to see if you're not in this sell already is somewhere around here. So if you can be patient enough to see Euro USD break through this level, if you can see Euro USD break through this level, then we'll be expecting some resumption or a rejection all the way to somewhere around here. Okay. So this is what I want to see on Euro USD. I'm not so eager to jump into the sell on Euro USD as I have some positions exposed to GBP USD. Just like I am not in, you can just wait. And once Euro USD gives us this play, you can jump into the sell. Okay. Now for one of the main characters for today's trade is GBP USD. Very interesting. A lot of interesting things are going to happen on GBP USD today. I'm also anticipating that somewhere around 12, like I said earlier, the interest rate is going to be released, and we're expecting it to come out flat. Seeing that the dollar is gaining momentum, I'm expecting sell-off on GBP USD. One of the reasons why you've not been seeing GBP USD sell-off as smooth as Euro USD, this reason that I just stated. So once the interest rate is released, we'll start seeing clear direction for Great British Pound across board on all pairs that it is traded alongside it. So for today, GBP USD, I'm going to be tightening my position. I'm going to be breaking even so that when the interest rate comes out, I know the spikes are going to happen. After the spikes, I'll be expecting to see price move in a clearer direction that I'll be taking advantage of. But for today, London session, I'm expecting GBP USD to continue selling just like I have been since yesterday. I've been selling GBP USD all the way from somewhere around here, and I expect it to sell off all the way to this low to take out these guys here. Because if you look at this sell from the higher time frame, let's look at it from the daily. All right, so looking at GBP USD from the daily, we are anticipating a break of structure after GBP USD went ahead to take out all these guys, trade into this left shoulder, and then now you saw the break of structure right here, except you refuse to see it, but I have seen the break of structure I'm looking out for here on daily time frame. Price closed below this low right here on the daily time frame. So that was the confirmation I needed to start shorting GBP USD. And upon retracement back to this level, I had to start going short on GBP USD. Okay, so on 4-hour time frame, you can see price return back to this fair value gap, old low. This was my entry somewhere around here. Fair value gap, old low yesterday. And after price did this, on return to this place, I started shorting GBP USD, and I expect it to continue selling all the way downward. So this is the structure that I was telling you guys that was broken. It returned back to this level, and then a sell-off continuation. So I'm expecting GBP USD to sell all the way downwards. This is one of the overall levels. I'm expecting it to sell to somewhere here to form maybe a flip zone. All right, the blue line right here. So this is what I'm expecting on GBP USD, sell off all the way to the downside. But if I'm still in my trade and the trade has not hit my target before 12 noon GMT +1, I'll be breaking even and expecting the news release to do its thing before I jump back into the market. So this is my expectations on GBP USD. If you have any question at this point, feel free to ask your questions, as we'll be granting you answers to some of the questions that you have. Okay, so let me take some comments. CHF, I've been waiting. All right, so finally I believe you got clear interpretation of what you've been waiting for on CHF. And Mr. Potters, good to see you again, Mr. Potters. It's always a wonderful time sharing this analysis with you guys. Then Franklin Nene says you can see me, okay? Please don't lie, says I'm already in the sell. Monday low is my target. Tuesday low, Monday low, show diagonal liquidity. Very good, very good. So it shows that we are beginning to think alike. Okay, that's very important, and I enjoy doing that too. Okay, so in the absence of any question, we want to. Okay, there's one more comment. What do you think about CHF sentiment? I think they are all clear. Yes, it's very clear. Sentiment on CHF is to the downside because you can't be cutting interest rate when everybody's keeping it flat. They have their own genuine reasons. They know that they are going to see further sell-offs of the CHF, but then it's mostly to tame inflation around around Switzerland. So most countries are in that debacle between inflation and interest rate. So they want to tame it as easily as possible. So whatever thing they want to do, they can do it for the best interest of their own country, not for our own interests, it's for their own interests. Okay. All right. So thank you very much, everyone who has been a part of today's market call. Remember the announcement for the day. The announcement for the day is that the ATM cash flow is coming up in July 2024 in the city of Abuja, the very first live physical class in the city of Abuja. So if you know anyone who is supposed to be there, whether you or your friend or a family member who is supposed to be there, anybody who has been disturbing you that they want to learn Forex and they need the best guidance into Forex trading, this is the opportunity that they have. I don't know the next time an opportunity like this is going to come up, but please, I want to advise you, take advantage of it. All right, until we meet again, New York session, 3 p.m. GMT +1 is the time. Wish you good luck and good trading. Cheers, and God bless, guys.